Be sure to watch right to the end of this video as I put some of the most interesting exploits in the second half. So this is an unscripted raw reaction video about a really fascinating phenomena. Take a look at the value of the WoW token on WoW retail at the moment. It's around 330,000 gold. Now switch over to Cataclysm Classic and you'll see that the WoW token is selling for around 10,000 gold. Now it's going to be a lot easier to earn the amount of gold necessary for a token in Cataclysm Classic than it is in WoW retail. That's Dragonflight. So why is this happening? There's a clue if you look at the value of raw gold farms in Dragonflight and Cataclysm Classic. It takes about the same amount of time to earn a token in both forms of the game just using raw gold farms. There's some kind of issue with the auction house. The key to this mystery is that the two auction houses work in very different ways. The Dragonfly auction house is cross-realm, it's highly efficient, and everything converges on its market value. Cataclysm Classic has the older system based around individual realms, where you get all kinds of biases and anomalies from market to market. In addition, obviously, Cataclysm is about to launch properly in a few days, and there's a considerable amount of interest in the game. So we may not have long to exploit this situation. So how do we take advantage of this scenario? Assuming, of course, that we wish to earn a WoW token by farming gold within the game. Amazingly, I found that you could simply run most of the Burning Crusade dungeons repeatedly and earn around 2,000 gold per hour. I should explain how that 2,000 gold an hour figure is arrived at. Basically, I'm taking the average value of every item I receive as if I could sell it on the auction house for that average value. This isn't a perfect solution, it is just the way gold farming YouTubers tend to calculate things. If you use raw gold, it's too conservative. The way I'm doing it is rather optimistic sometimes. You may have some difficulty selling specific items, but no one's come up with a better solution. Now, if you really like playing strictly by Blizzard's rules, this is all you need to know. However, if you are looking to make more than 2,000 gold per hour, we can improve on that number using various tricks that I'll explain now. First, it's really important to understand that because of the 5 instants per hour lockout rule, you want to be farming in a region where you get multiple dungeons. The reason being that if you hit instance lockout, you can still do another unique dungeon. So for example, if you ran, say, 5 Shadow Labyrinths, you would then be able to do Crypts. Or as I'm demonstrating here, if you hit instance lockout on Hellfire Ramparts, you can then do Blood Furnace or Shattered Halls. The second point, which is closely related to the first, is that large parts of BC dungeons are not worth running. Obviously, if they contain dead space, that isn't profitable, but also bosses are kind of a waste of time as well. As in the main, you're looking for trash packs which drop bind on equip items which sell for a decent price on the auction house. That's where most of the value of these farms comes from. So considering these two things together, we can see that it's often worthwhile to farm trash packs only for parts of a dungeon and then exploit the unique instance rule to fill up our hour. Now let's discuss some of the special tricks that you can use in specific instances to improve on garden variety gold making returns. In Shadow Labyrinth, deep in Shadow Labyrinth, right at the end near Murmur, there are mobs called Cabal Summoners. The Cabal Summoners, as the name suggests, summon 2 adds. These adds themselves can be killed and looted. I'm doing this with just the one Cabal Summoner here to illustrate how this works. You can do it with as many Cabal Summoners as you'd like. The more summoners you can handle, obviously, the more you will make gold. There's an opportunity in Crypts. The main mobs that you see in front of you, they spawn unliving mobs, various types of unliving mobs. Now, these unliving mobs drop items and gold in the same way the regular mobs do. If you have some way of resetting the primary mobs, I'm using invisibility here. The best way to do it is feign death, or you can even actually run out of the instance. That will do it also. But provided you reset the main mobs, they will spawn unliving mobs every time you aggro them. So you could farm the first wing of this dungeon endlessly. An additional factor with the Orc and Dune instances is that they have mining nodes spawning periodically inside, and very occasionally one of them will be a corium node, which is worth an absolute fortune to a miner. That's a really important thing to take into consideration if you're going to farm in Orc and Dune. Now, these farms will be viable before and after Cataclysm proper launches, but when Cataclysm does fully launch, there will be all kinds of amazing opportunities within the expansion itself. Although I have details on my Patreon of what is literally the fastest respawning mob in the whole of the game, which already exists in the pre-patch currently. It's an incredible low-level farm. When Cataclysm does go live, one of the things to look out for will be selling leveling gear. Historically, that worked really well. You were selling green items from 77 to 79 for a massive premium. Be aware of that opportunity. And the exploits in Cataclysm were arguably the best ever. It was probably the most broken expansion. At the moment, it's looking like they haven't fixed an awful lot of stuff